Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. It's nice to see you. I hope you're keeping well. This is the preview of West Ham's second leg of the Europa Conference League quarter-final, where we welcome KAA Gent to the London Stadium this Thursday evening for an 8 o'clock kickoff live on BT Sport 2 under the lights. As always, this video is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website, where you can purchase some really nice retro gear, guys, as you can see from the icon that's up here, along with Admiral and Umbro track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts, so go check those out. Any purchases you make through the link in the description below, the commission that the channel would normally be getting, as I always do, I'll be sending on to the charity Iron Supporting Food Banks. They're based in the Newham area and they're helping those in the Newham area and the Essex County and further afield for that matter, to help people put food on their tables that are really struggling in these financial crisis that we've been having, not just in the last 12 months or so, but for 6 months really, but over the last 3 or 4 years, to be honest with you. Even before COVID, people were really struggling. So go grab yourself a very nice retro shirt or a nice polo, whatever you want to purchase. You'll be saving yourself a few quid in comparison to the West Ham club shop, and you'll be helping those that are less fortunate than you and I. So as this is being recorded on Monday evening, there is no information as yet about the officials, and even if we did know what the officials were, we don't know who they are, so it doesn't really make that much of a difference. In actual fact, if we do proceed into Europe next season, touch wood, then I might drop it. I'll keep it for the Premier League, obviously, but yeah, anyway. So let's talk about the last time we played Gent, which was on Thursday night, where we drew 1-1, so Thursday afternoon, I should say. So thank you to everybody that joined us for the watch along and subscribe to the channel. Your support is very much appreciated. We are 1 subscriber away from 2260, so hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I thought I'd get that in early for a change. But yeah, you know, I was pretty pissed off drawing it. It was quite a lackluster performance, but at the same point, we saw the dividends of that last night, or Sunday afternoon, for you guys that are going to be watching this on YouTube. You know, it was a little bit disappointing. We could have made that draw completely out of sight in the second leg. We could have done, but legs were being rested from one point of view, I guess. There's no other real explanation for it, for the league. But taking a point at home in the second leg isn't massively disastrous. But just a bit more of an update on Gent and how they may actually just look at this game. Now, Gent are 1 game away from their end of the season, and it's looking very likely that they're going to finish 4th to secure Champions League qualifiers next season, as their final game is a team that I'm not going to pronounce, but they are 4 points from safety to get themselves out of the relegation zone with 1 game to go. Yeah, it's not exactly going to be. They might be prioritising that. You know, they are 9. I think, if I remember correctly, I think they are 9 or 11 points clear of 5th place in the Belgian Pro League. So fair play to them. Fair play to them. But Gents' away form in the Europa Conference League shows they've won once, drawn twice and lost twice, scoring 7 goals and conceding 7 goals. So that does really kind of put us in a good stead from that point of view, in terms of the fact that they are better at home than they are away. And I think if I remember correctly, this is the first time they've played in England, much less London. So, you know, in recent times, of course. So yeah, I think that could work to our advantage. And if we can get the atmosphere going as it was on Sunday afternoon, going the way that went, I think we're in for a very good shout of getting into the semi-finals, guys. I really am. Now, looking at Gent injuries, it doesn't look like there's anything new other than the 2 players we mentioned beforehand in the previous preview. So we're not really going to be mentioning that. Players to look out for. There wasn't really anybody that really stood out to me personally. If there were any players from your point of view, put them in the comment section below. I know there was a Gent fan that commented on the preview, so thank you very much for that, mate. And I'm hoping he's watching this as well. But the only players that really stood out for me were their 2 attackers, Orban and Superas, or Cypras, or however you fucking pronounce it. Orban is a player that I would love to take to the Premier League and for West Ham to acquire in the summer. I think he's an unbelievably good player from what we saw. You can't judge one player on on one game, as I've mentioned many times, but his movement, his technical ability, he's 20 years old. I was reading earlier today, he's 20 years old. That's mad. He looks such a good player. I know there's big differences in spectrum and all the rest of it, but he outplayed us. You know, he really is. His attacking style really outplayed West Ham, and it was. I would love to take him. I think he's a Belgian, possibly maybe becoming a Belgium international if I'm 100, I think, or something. I was reading something like that. But anyway, yeah, I do. I would really would take him. Now, I'm not going to do any Patreon analysis for either side this time round, because even though I did the Patreon analysis for the second leg, for the first leg, it felt a little bit unbalanced, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to keep it as a previews are normally for the European teams. But yeah, so guys, turning to West Ham now. Obviously, you could say this is quite good news. The Arthur Masuaku has now left for a permanent role at Besiktas. It was confirmed on Monday afternoon that he's left on a permanent basis, which kind of pretty much means, from what I understand of it, that, you know, obviously there was an activation clause or something for him to sign, or there was conversations that he was going to sign anyway. At the end of the day, guys, we're a month away from the end of the season, give or take. So I'm guessing that's why the business has been done now. If I remember correctly, I think the deal was around about just under £2 million. It was like 2.1 million euros, I think, or something. So just under 2 million for him. It's a shame, because I know a lot of Johnny come lately West Ham supporters that have only really been interested in West Ham since the European Conference, Europa League, and this season European jaunt as well. We'll obviously remember him for the Chelsea game at home, and of course, you know, the majority of us will. For me, he was one of Bilic's signings when we moved to the London Stadium, and he lasted the longest. You can't be that bad. I mean, I know he was infuriating for a lot of us, but he did have his moments when he did play some very good football. Most of it was when he was a winger as opposed to a left back or wing back. But yeah, it's a shame. He seems a very nice bloke from the stuff that he's done on social media that I've seen over the years. But yeah, it was inevitable, unfortunately. But I do wish him all the luck in the world for next season and the remainder of this season for Besiktas as well. So yeah. Thanks, Arthur. It's been much appreciated. But unfortunately, guys, not to sound too big-headed, but I predicted this weeks ago. I did say a few weeks ago that Scamacca was going to need to have knee surgery at some point. He just knew it was going to happen, and he did. He had knee surgery on Saturday, so I guarantee we're not going to see him until the summer at the earliest. I'll be very surprised. Very surprised. Whatever surgery you have, you're out for at least a few weeks. At least. I mean, when I had my cartilage operated on, I was told to rest for a fortnight. I didn't. I rest for 6 days. I had to get back to work. I was bored stupid. But with footballers, it's totally different. But yeah, you know, I'm guessing probably 6-7 weeks recovery minimum. That's basically the end of the season. It's a real shame. And I hope he stays and proves himself next season, whichever league we're going to be in, which is looking like it's now going to be the Premier League. But yeah, we'll talk about that for the Bournemouth preview as well. But also, Aguerd pulled out of the Arsenal squad due to an ankle injury as a result of the knock that he picked up against Gent. And Ogbono also had to pull out because he picked up what looked like it seems to be a stiff back as well. He apparently did have a bit of a fall, but he was okay from the fall. But his muscle, I think, from what I've read, it looks like it's a muscle spasm or something. I don't know, but I'll be very surprised if we see either of them certainly not going to see him on Thursday night for this fixture, and I'll be very surprised if we see him on Sunday for the Bournemouth game as well. But anyway, guys, so that leaves me now to talk about the starting 11. Now, this is the hardest part of the video for me. It really genuinely is, because you've always got to try and second guess David Moyes. I say every single video, the starting 11 that I do is never going to happen in a million years. We have to play Ben Johnson at centre back. We just have to. We've got no real options, really. I mean, don't get me wrong. Kehrer and Zuma were fantastic against Arsenal, but I do think a 3-5-2 formation or 5-3-2 formation, whatever you want, is going to be perfect for this game. Moyes tried it. at Gent and it didn't really work properly, but I do think that's down to the fact that he didn't pick a very, very decent side from that point of view. But then again, I said that about the Arsenal game as well, for that matter. So what the fuck do I know? I'm just a YouTuber that makes fuck all on this platform. Quite genuinely, I don't make a penny out of this thing. But yeah, you know, but this is the start 11 that I want to see. It's a lot more attacking than I think David Moyes is going to go. It's a lot more midfield balanced than I think David Moyes is going to go, and it's certainly a lot more defensive than David Moyes is going to go. Attacking, I should say. It's quite defensive, stroke attacking, and I do think that basically, yeah, this is the starting 11 that I want to see. It's never going to happen, but I want to see. Areola in goal, with a back three of Kara, Zuma and Johnson, Soufal and Emerson as the wing-backs, with Rice, Lanzini and Fornals in midfield, supporting Bowen and Ings up front. So thank you very much for your time, guys. As always, put your comments in the comments section below. Let me know what your thoughts on this. I'm sure a lot of you won't agree with the starting 11. That's fine. That's not a problem. Don't have an issue with that. Let me know what you're thinking of it. If you do agree with me, let me know. But I do think we need to go all guns blazing with this, especially bearing in mind how well Antonio played against Arsenal, how well we know what Danny Ings can do. And yeah, Lanzini and Fornals are in the side for me. Anyway, but guys, thank you very, very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your week. There will be the full-time thoughts video that's going to come out on Thursday night, so keep an eye out for that. Let's say, like this video if you haven't already done so. Please do like, share and subscribe, especially subscribe, and make sure you click your notification bells to all, so you get to know when content is available. But in the meantime, guys, look after yourselves, take care, and I'll see you very soon. All the best.